Scott Reiniger, formerly from Dawn of the Dead, actor, and I'm director of film and stage in Hollywood. And you are listening to The Movie Raid.
It's once again time for The Movie Raid, and this time we got an actor, teacher, and director who's played in film and television, such as Dawn of the Dead, and that is Scott Reiniger. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Well, how are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm sitting out in sunny California, out on the patio. It's 80 degrees. You can't beat that. I'm from New York originally, though, but it is nice living here, I must say.
Oh, we got a Yorkie.
And Yorkie, as you call it, Yorkie.
Yorkie.
Yankee Yorkie.
Yankee Yorkie. Oh, we got a Yankee Yorkie. Oh. So, tell us a little bit about the teaching that you do. Was this pretty much when did this really start? Is this before Dawn of the Dead or after?
No, it was after. I was after Dawn of the Dead. I was because I was always in the theater. I was directing quite a bit, and still do. And then I started teaching there at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, which is a 3-year conservatory in New York and Los Angeles, but I'm in the Los Angeles branch. And that started in the early 90s. And I worked there, plus direct projects on the side, and I run the film acting program there. And then also I direct some of their main stage productions for the graduates in their last year. That's basically what I do.
Oh, yeah? You've been doing that for quite a while, then.
Yeah, quite a while, and I like it. It's a great environment and great people. It's great to work with young people who are starting out, and it's a serious operation, for people who really want to become professional actors, because it's across the spectrum: theater, film, television, movement, music, musical theater, on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah, since
so
then,
it's a pretty high-energy, stimulating environment.
Yeah, since then, have you been working with any more film, or pretty much you got some new projects going on?
Yeah, well, that's right. I'm directing a play now called Dark Rapture, which is a theater noir, as in film noir. It's a very dark, mysterious piece. It's written by Eric Overmyer, who's a pretty famous playwright. It's a very mysterious play about people chasing money, but you don't know who really anyone is or what their agenda is until it starts to fall in place. So for the audience, it's like a puzzle that gradually starts to fall in place. And it's very fascinating, really well written.
So it's like a psychological film, or a play, I should say.
Yeah, it's a psychological play, but there's some really dark characters in it, and horror gangsters. It's really interesting. Very, very moody. It's a big production, has lots of sound, lots of music. Because it's very cinematic. It moves very cinematically because it moves from place to place, scene to scene, and where these people are moving all around the country. Because they're after the money. It can't be too long to explain why that is. It would take an hour, but...
It sounds like a good film to me.
Yeah. No, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Have a good cast. And there's a lot of work on their part.
How long has this been going?
Well, we're going to actually open on Saturday, this coming Saturday.
Oh, so you've spent like a couple months or even to a year to getting this together?
Yeah, but the rehearsal period itself is just 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Which is normal, which is actually a good amount of time.
Nice.
Because now we're at the stage of when we start to go into a check. The actors. There's many, many, many sound cues, many, many light cues, and then it's getting all the actors in sync with that, and the whole timing of it, and on and on and on.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it can be hectic considering you got to tell the actor to do this and this, and you got more than one actor doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's a large cast. There's about 11 people.
Yeah, even that, it can be hectic.
Oh, yeah. I always try to just remain calm and be efficient and move forward, and it's exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure you get one of those hot-headed ones. Think they're they're going to be the next movie star, right?
Once in a while, you get those. Those are actually the lower percentage of people, but there are some people who are. They think just because of their looks or whatnot, or that they're very, very cool and they'll get picked up. But the reality the academy and they find out really what it takes to be an actor, it's a lot of work.
It's almost like running a camera, film camera.
Oh, yes.
It's like you can't just move it over there and move it over here. No, there's a specific angle, specific movement, the whole thing.
But there's a reason, for each thing, for each step, and it takes a lot of collaboration with a lot of people, and it's funny because, and there are some crazy people in the entertainment industry, that's true, and the media focuses on those people, but the reality is that I'd say 85% of the people here are very decent, very hardworking, and they work long hours. The media spins things kind of upside down. The media dwells on the dysfunctional people, the crazy people.
The media is just so chaotic these days. Everything's so focused on this wedding now. It's like, come on, who cares? Move on.
I thought it was fun to watch.
The only thing that's the biggest ruckus up at this point is like some little girl is like holding her ears or whatever. A photo of this girl. It's like, well, who's this girl? Who cares? It's some girl like that's affiliated with the bridesmaid or the future wife or whatever. So what?
Yeah, they're just looking for news bites.
Yeah, they're filling the time space. That's all they're doing. It's like, okay, well, Charlie Sheen is taking a piss in the bathroom. Let's get that. And he misses.
Hilarious. Amen.
Speaking of which, there's a lot of films these days are so high budget. We're talking like billions of dollars, and that makes it onto the screen. Is it really best for a high budget film to go out there, or is it really best to go for low budget?
What do you mean is best to go for low budget?
I mean, you see a lot of films that make it out there because they put a lot of money into it, but there's also films that make it out there that don't have a lot of money, like Night of the Living Dead. Even though in the early days it didn't get much feedback, but it made a huge cult classic.
Yeah, and that has so much to do with the big budget films. They have huge advertising and promotional budgets.
Well, even Star Wars. Look at Star Wars, man. They almost had no money to even pay the actors, and that made a major, phenomenon.
Huge.
Yeah, it just made huge amounts of money later in the future, and now they're still doing spin-offs upon spin-offs upon spin-offs, and now they're making more episodes backwards, like from the first one.
Yeah, right, exactly. Also a lot of not all, it's very expensive to make, fully budgeted studio film because of the amount of people and the amount of crew and the amount of personnel it takes to pull it off, right? It's huge.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the greatest amount of money is usually spent on above-the-line costs, which have to do with the stars, the director, the writer. These are all called above the line, and people get paid like amazing money.
Yeah, there's some actors that get paid more than one actor, and it's like, does that not kill the film itself because you paid so much for this one actor?
Well, if they're willing to pay it, they're willing to pay it.
You got the money; it's not a problem.
Negotiated by someone's representative, who's either agent or manager or a lawyer.
No, it's if you got the money, it's not a bad thing to put a lot of money into the film, but.
No.
It just depends what's on the film. You put so much in this film with a bunch of shit all over it, and it doesn't look that great, even though it was billions of dollars, and even though it was on the screen, it still didn't make it.
Yeah.
And if it's like a low budget one, it's like it has great mechanics, this and that, it makes a huge hit.
Yeah. Sometimes things catch on, and word of mouth is. Distribution is very important in terms of where it's distributed and where it's playing, but it's like with Dawn of the Dead. I mean, who knew that film was going to become so successful and become a cult classic?
Oh yeah, man, it's a great film.
When we were making it,
it's a great film.
We knew it would be controversial because because of the blood and all of that business, and then it was going to be released without a rating, which was the first time a film had been released without a rating that was released by a major distributor, which was United Artists.
No.
So that was pretty risky, but it really caught on, and you just couldn't even imagine it.
Yeah, did that film pretty much almost end up being like Night of the Living Dead all over again? It's like no one started liking it because at the time, even uh, when when you guys first met to the mall, it's like that was one of the first malls that was being made at the time.
That's right. And it was, pretty interesting. It's funny, my mind just went in a different direction because you mentioned the mall. While we were shooting that film, there was a front page article on Newsweek magazine that was called "The Malling of America."
Mm-hmm.
And this was the genesis of these malls that are now commonplace. And we just happened to be making the movie at the same time, and I thought that was really interesting synchronicity.
Oh yeah.
On Romero's part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But no, we couldn't imagine it would just have a life that it has. I mean, it's more popular today than it ever was. And it's generational. It's really amazing.
Oh yeah, people still go there to act like a zombie. If you made a history, you made history right there. Did you ever take photos of being a zombie in there or no?
Did I take photos of the zombies?
Yeah, I mean, did you ever go in the photo booth? Because there were people doing that and leaving photos in the photo booth at the mall.
Do that? No. I'm sure many people have.
I'm sure that was pretty chaotic too.
Oh yeah. It was fun. All these people showed up to be zombies, and they were paid almost nothing if they wanted to.
Yeah, now these days.
From Boston.
You got strings of zombie films now. That's not George Romero's work, and some of them are all right, but there's a lot of them just not that good.
Yeah, some of them rise to the surface. It's interesting that AMC did the series.
Yeah.
The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you how popular the genre is. That a major cable network did a series, and I think they're going to be doing more. So.
Definitely. It's speaking of which, TV series, it's so cluttered with these so-called reality shows. There's no actual real shows involved anymore. What's your opinions on that?
Well, I don't know. They don't draw me personally to watch them, and I think what's a little weird that's going on is that the so-called reality shows are not the spontaneous reality. They're all outlined. And sure, there's some spontaneous stuff, but it's not really what it was when it began. We were just capturing, this life of this, whatever it is, a family or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now it's scripted, and some of these people in reality shows, they really think that they're actors.
Yeah, I saw, well, I'm not going to say what specific show it was, but this actor was doing this commercial from that show, and this dude was not even participating in the commercial, but the women that were in it was all like energetic, and this guy's like, okay, so buy it. That's all he wants. It's like, really?
Well,
yeah, that makes me want to go buy the product.
That's all he said.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Well, that's bizarre.
Yeah, it's off a popular reality show. I can't say it, but he didn't really show much emotion into that. It was one of those lose your weight type commercials.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, yeah, go buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Really? You spend?
Okay, thank you very much.
You spend $2 million for him to say that?
I don't know what they paid him, but
Yeah, I'm sure they do. It's like I see there's a lot of actors are now going toward commercials like that. They're doing insurance commercials or Medicare commercials. Do you think that's part of like the economy going down, or are they just run out of work, or is that just how the what you've gone through in the film industry?
Well, but most actors do that for the work, for the income.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, that's why they do it. I mean, doing commercials can be fun, but they're not that. If you're like really an actor and you're a trained actor and you know your chops, you know what you're doing a commercial is not necessarily that stimulating. It can be fun, but the main thing you're looking for is the fee that you're paid plus hopefully residuals. But there's so many different kinds of commercials. Some that don't have residuals. There are those that have lots of residuals, and so it really varies. But it's basically for the income.
Yeah, because I just see a lot of them suddenly because they've been in film for so long. Then suddenly you see them in a commercial like these type commercials. It's like, okay, what's going on? Are you like getting kicked out of these films suddenly? Are you getting wasted a lot or what?
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much. The film today is. What's your opinion on how film is today compared to like back then when you were in Dawn of the Dead? It's so much a different view now because we got these younger generations. That's what you see a lot for the remakes now. They do the same thing. So I was for the younger generation, and the same thing with superhero films for the younger generation.
Right. Well, they're targeted. That's the audience they're targeting. So there are some films that are just like candy bars, basically. But I think there are also some very good films out there. Have been. I mean, this was a little bit while ago, but did you ever see the film Dead Man Walking?
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
Hmm.
Did you see The King's Speech?
I saw some of it.
Yes, it's really, really well done. So I'm not of the mind that just because it was earlier that the film's necessarily better. How the films are made has certainly evolved. But it's all about story.
Yeah.
Good story works. People go.
But they're finally taking a break on the whole remake thing. I don't know if you're against it or for it, but they finally took a break on that, and now they're going toward 3D.
Yeah, lots.
Everybody's going to 3D. Oh, it's just I do agree. It's like for a while, it's like no one really cared for 3D. Now suddenly, it's back in now. People are starting to like it. Let's put a shitload of films into it now.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like an assembly line, man. It's okay. Let's take this box, put all these films here, and put it on this side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's also because the technology evolves, So.
Oh yeah. If technology, if you were to make a Dawn of the Dead right now.
Oh my God.
with that type of technology, they remade the film, of course. But if what would you really agree to that, or would you really go through that, or would you prefer the old stuff?
My feeling about it is ultimately what is the end result. So if you get there in a different way, but the result is like really good and works, I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
If the special effects are, when you're watching it, are just about effects and you get lost, you don't hook into the story or the characters or the relationships, well then it's just about special effect.
Yeah.
It won't have as much longevity. The thing about Dawn, I think that if you compare the effects, they're compared to what can be done now. They're crude if you want to compare them.
Yeah.
But they were pretty amazing for that particular time, and how it was done on the budget that it was done on. That was what's incredible.
Yeah, the Dawn of the Dead in that time period. If you compare it now, yeah, you would probably call it primitive, but it worked very well. Even with the blood, even Tom Savini was against the whole comic bookish blood.
Mm-hmm.
But it pulled off really well.
Yeah, no, it really did. And the Dawn of the Dead, I think what was key in that was that there was story there. There was relationship between the characters. It wasn't, and the whole concept of it. So it was more than just a horror film, and I think that really helped the film's longevity. And I know this because a lot of people speak about it because I've been to conventions, and it always comes back to that when people talk about.
Yeah, it's more of that film was more like real, surreal, because it's a survival horror film, and you don't see a lot of that anymore.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Almost, you look at all the films from between the 80s, 70s, they're pretty much like right there. Look at Chopping Mall.
Mm-hmm.
They're running away from robots that go like less than 1 mile per hour.
Yeah.
But they're trying to find out how to get out of that mall without being killed by these things.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it.
Well, we had fun making it, that's for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of which, what is your opinion that horror genre is pretty much dead these days? It's more like toward the chick flicks is what they make, and superhero films and 3D. But no, you don't see any really decent horror films. And when they do make horror films, I'm not saying it's like completely gone, but they make Exorcist-like films now. The Possession, this and this, you know.
Yeah. But what was your question?
Well, what's your opinion that the horror genre is pretty much gone? What are your thoughts on that? It's like they don't make pretty much no horror films anymore like they used to.
Well, there was a period not too long ago where there was like one after another, you know. But you're not seeing as many Freddy movies now or Raven films. That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, like you see a lot back in the early days. It's like you see a lot of horror films were just popping out everywhere. And this decade, there was almost no real horror films. And the only time you see a horror film, it's like a paranormal film or something to do with someone being possessed by a demon every time. That's all you ever see.
Yes. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I don't know why that is. It's interesting because things just move in cycles.
It's like, is it like no longer popular, or is it just because it's no longer profitable?
Well, you're talking about then the decision of somebody who's going to make the film. Is there an audience for it? I don't know. Maybe some execs feel there's not an audience for it. I don't even know the answer to that.
Yeah. I would say it's just you don't see it anymore. That's the sad part of it. So you don't see such films like when you watch Dawn of the Dead. It's like, oh, you can see what's happening, and you don't know who's going to die. And now it's like, oh, he's going to die. Oh, he did.
Yeah. Right. Good point.
Have you ever thought about going to starting directing more film, or are you pretty much sticking to play?
No.
Or theater, I should say.
I actually have a short film I'm going to be directing this year. Which is called Little Alice. It's a very interesting short film. Do you remember the film Memento?
I don't think so. Don't recall. I'd have to see it in order to remember it.
Probably wouldn't remember it. It wasn't that long though, but it was like a puzzle piece.
Oh, okay.
These things, it was a fascinating movie. And so this film is, it's like a broken piece of glass with different storylines going on, but they all start to come into play and they all start to link up and be hinged with each other, and then you see why. Based around this one female character. So, and it's very interesting, very psychological. So I'm working on that, but that's going to be a ways off until we actually start to shoot it.
Eventually, it'll actually become a film because if something gets really boring, that's what they'll do. They'll go back there. Oh, well, this looks good. Really? It's been out for like 7 years. You didn't pick it up?
Right. Hey, listen, I got to get going soon. I have to get going soon. Do other things you want to go over or talk about?
You got any last thoughts, or do you want to say anything to the younger generation that's breaking into film?
As in per actors per se.
Yeah, actor, directing, or even writing, for example.
Yeah. How would I say for directing and acting? You got to train. It's a kick butt business. I mean, you can learn maybe as you go, but too many people think, well, I'm just going to go to Hollywood and see what happens.
Yeah, a lot of have.
And what people don't really realize is that whether or not you get the job, there is respect for people who are well trained because it tells you that they're serious. They didn't just get off the bus, right? And like, hey, make me a movie star. People don't really take those people seriously. And so in terms of what goes on behind the scenes, that is the reality. And a lot of the other stuff is fluff. Sure, some people become stars because they get lucky, great, well, I'm happy for them. Have at it. Maybe you're really talented. That does happen, but it's the tiny percentage. It's not like what you see, like in the news media, everybody's being discovered every day, and I'm exaggerating a little bit, you know what I mean? It's not like that.
Yeah.
That's because the media focuses on that, so it makes you think, oh, that's what's going on all the time. It's not.
Oh, yeah.
There are always new people who are introduced in the film, like a really young person, like really talented, and I think that's really cool. Whatnot. But if you want to be a professional actor, you got to train, and train in a reputable place, not some fly-by-night acting studios.
Yeah.
And if you're really serious and you're drawn to it, because you got to really love it, because there's a lot of rejection. So you got to love the process of doing it, And some people were suited for that, and some people weren't.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You got any websites or anything you want to plug in? Also, go ahead and mention about your new project coming out again, so we can check it out later on.
Oh, Dark Rapture?
Yeah.
The play? Yeah, it's Dark Rapture. It's a theater noir, as in film noir. It's mystery. Very fascinating piece. It's a huge production. Many lights, many sound cues. And it's a very high concept play. Very, very both personal, but it's also very, very visual. And it's fun doing that. And then I'm going to direct a short film called Little Alice. And I teach, so that's what I'm doing.
There you go.
Okay.
Scott. Yeah, Scott Reiniger of Dawn of the Dead.
Thank you.
Zombies unite again.
Great talking to you, Mike.
All right.